In this video, we're going to talk about using the announcements tool in Blackboard to create a sense of instructor presence. And the announcements tool is obviously a place for posting announcements related to your class. So one of the most visible areas to convey information to your students that's not directly related to content. That is, you probably wouldn't want to use the announcements tool to actually deliver course material because that information does move progressively down the screen. The whole point of the announcements is to keep the most prescient information up at the top and visible to your students. So if you weren't already aware, the announcements area is the default landing page for a Blackboard course. So when a student opens up your class space, they see the announcements first. And so it's a great way to deliver really important information or just to generally message your students and stay connected with them. Now, instructor presence is an aspect of online teaching, which is sort of self-explanatory, but really gets into this idea of you are not a robot behind the screen that just delivers a grade at the end of term, but you're a living, breathing person who is an expert in your content area and the person that your students should be referring to for questions, for authority on the material, etc. And one way to establish and maintain instructor presence when you're teaching remotely is by creating regular announcements. And the announcements themselves, the content of those announcements, can be everything from, oh, hey, I just posted new material, or there's the new test is available now, you can go take it, to reviewing things from the previous week, to announcing things in the upcoming week, answering student questions, which are useful for the entire class to hear, and kind of everything in between. So let's go through the process of actually creating an announcement. And thankfully in Blackboard, it is fairly simple. As you'll see here with my edit mode on, I can see the create announcement button, which is up here on the left. And if I click this, it's going to open a text editor, which should be familiar to you. The subject line can be anything, so make it relevant to what you're talking about, but in this case, to the class. Probably what I would start with would just be a welcome message to my students. And the welcome message can be information that is included in your getting started area. It can be snippets from your syllabus. It can simply be a welcome message, like just a straight welcome. Okay, so here is text that I would personally include in my very first getting started message or my very first welcome message. And I'm not going to read the whole thing out loud, but essentially I tell them who I am, and I tell them where they can find the essential information for getting started. In this case, I refer them to the Getting Started link on the navigation menu. I also tell them about what their first assignment is for the week, in this case to read the syllabus, to complete the attendance requirement, and also to email me if they have any questions, but also to check the syllabus. So it's a very simple message, but it is effective because it's telling students how to get started. It's giving them the first essential information, even more so than what's in your getting started area. It's where they find this stuff. Now, below any Blackboard announcement, regardless of what the content is, you have a couple of options for delivery. If you are setting up announcements in advance, so if you have pre-written copy for week 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., and you just want to bang it out and get it into Blackboard and have it release on a certain date, you can do that by setting the duration and checking the date restricted and entering in the information here. You can also check to send a copy of the announcement immediately as an email. And this is why I love the announcements tool, because it's a quick way to get everyone who is in your Blackboard roster right away. This will send a copy of your announcement with the heading being the course title and the subject line of the announcement, so they know what class it's coming from and what the subject line is, and it sends directly to the entire class all at once. So I think that's really useful. I will note that if you do have things set up in advance, the email announcement doesn't trigger until you come back into the announcement, edit it, and click the email. So just know that you're not going to get that email trigger if you set things up in advance, although it will appear in the announcements screen on the time and date that you set. Course links allow you to link directly to other course areas, which can be helpful For instance, if I clicked Browse, I could select the Getting Started area, which when we save and submit here in a second, you'll see there is a link to that Getting Started area within the announcement, which can be useful, especially if you have a lot of content in your class and you're directing students to something fairly specific. But otherwise, it's really just writing your message, deciding how and when you want to deliver that message to your students, and then clicking Submit to Save. So now on my announcements page, you can see here is the announcements that I just wrote. There was my email notification that sent it to me. I'm the instructor, so I'm getting a copy of all of my announcements as well. If I open it up, here's what it looks like. Nothing super special about that. Here in the announcements page from within the class, you also see my course link to the Getting Started area, which if I click it, will take me to my Getting Started area. And once again, showing you that information in Student Preview, same kind of thing. Here's the announcements, here's the text, here's the Getting Started link. So announcements, a great way to establish instructor presence and also deliver essential information to your students in a really quick and easy way.